I thought I had an original idea for this video until I went onto YouTube this morning and saw this video by Graham Stephan. Obviously, I don't have the millions to invest in real estate like he does, but this will be a similar video to his, just on a much smaller scale. Because in 2021, I don't plan to invest a single dollar, at least not in the traditional ways. As we're moving on from 2020 to 2021, and praise God for that, I've seen a lot of posts on YouTube and Instagram about how much people are investing in 2021, what they're investing in 2021, and it seems to be a unanimous decision that investing in 2021 is a good decision. And I would have to agree with that, but I'm still not doing it. You may think that this is because I'm dumb or don't have a good grasp of my finances, or I don't want to invest in the stock market or real estate or Bitcoin, but I do want to invest in all of those things and more. The problem is I only have a finite amount of money, and so I have to do what's best with the money that I have. Can you see my Italian? Just a little bit of Italian, but it comes out. But that's not something that I've always had to worry about. I grew up really blessed and privileged to not have to worry about money too much. And I went to school on a scholarship and had a 2001 Toyota Camry, so I didn't have a lot of debt. And I didn't really think that money was that important until I started thinking thoughts outside of the school bubble, because the real world is really different to what you learn in school. I was moving into my last year of college and I met a girl who's now my amazing wife, Carissa. And I realized that I had to not only move down to Florida to be with her, but I had to graduate school and find a job. I grew up working part-time jobs as well as having my own little side projects that I'll always be working on because I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit, but because I grew up so blessed and privileged, I didn't really have to do anything about it. So when I sat down to look at my finances with my girlfriend at the time, we realized two things. First, we were relatively broke, and second, we weren't going to be able to see each other for 2 months instead of the couple of weeks that we had planned. And so I took that time that I wasn't able to see Carissa and started working a full-time job at Papa John's delivering pizzas and listened to a lot of Dave Ramsey podcasts and other financial podcasts, but Dave Ramsey is a topic for a different time. And during that time, I started budgeting, tracking my expenses, and saving a lot of money. So to make a really long story short, I was able to save up enough money to graduate, move down to Florida, find a full-time job, realized that I hated working 48 plus hours at Enterprise, rent a car, found another full-time job in February of this year, realized that even though I was working 40 hours, I still didn't like working for somebody else, and I quit that job after 9 months this November. During this time, I ended up working on a lot of smaller passion projects, which led me to really want to do this YouTube channel. We paid off over $20,000 in debt, we invested over $20,000, and we saved an emergency fund and a second emergency fund for business purposes. And because of that, I instilled in myself a lot of good financial principles like living below my means, investing a lot of money, saving, and it really feels like I'm going against all conventional wisdom right now because I'm not investing anything in 2021. And that feels crazy for me to say. So here are 3 reasons that I don't plan on investing anything. Reason number 1 is life is not all about the money. Don't hear that and think that I don't understand how important money is or that you shouldn't try to build wealth. But don't build wealth for a number. There's so many people wanting to become millionaires or have $10 million, and that's not ultimately what's important. You need to handle your money for a purpose. If I wanted to maximize my money or get to that $1 million faster, the good thing would seem to be to stay at my $42,000 per year job and invest that $1,400 a month that we were continually investing, because that'll get us there. But I believe that my money is there to provide for myself, my family, my community, and the world. So with that bigger picture in mind, I did something different, and I invested that time, rather than investing money, into building this YouTube channel and a couple of other businesses that hopefully will provide for more people in the long run, as well as hopefully make me more money. But I didn't leave that job without a plan. And even though I'm not making a killing right now, through reselling, I'm able to actually cover the gap that we have between my wife's income and our expenses. And I don't need to spend a full 40 hours a week doing this reselling. I actually only spend about 6 days a month doing it because I automate most of it. And then the rest of that I'm able to pour in as time to my other businesses. And so I'm really thinking about this as buying back my time. And another fun benefit of that is I was able to visit my family for Christmas and my wife's family for Thanksgiving. But beyond just buying back my time, the second reason that I'm not investing anything in 2021 is that I should make more money by doing it. And I know that that sounds stupid, but it's actually true. So let's think about some numbers real quick. Before I left my job, we were investing about $1,400 per month into 2 Roth IRAs for myself and my wife, and then my company sponsored 401k with an employer match that was 100% vested. Now that was all on a gross income between myself and my wife of around $75,000 per year. So right now we have invested $20,200, which over the next 35 years to when my wife can actually take that out of her retirement account should be worth around 300 grand. But that's if we don't invest anything else, and we don't plan on stopping investing forever, just for a short period of time. So let's take a look at what we've decided is our worst case scenario, which is about a 2-year time frame. So let's say over that 2 years, this YouTube channel flops, the other business ventures that I have ideas about flop, My reselling business barely makes enough for us to scrape by and nothing more, and I have to go back and find a new job. If I do have to go back to a job, which I hope never happens, and we do start making the same investments as I have been over the past year, we missed 2 years worth of investing, but our investments over that same 35-year time period will be just over $3 million. And if, because I have a 2-year gap in my resume of a bunch of failures, I can go back and not even get the same paying job, but we're only able to invest half of what we've invested right now, we'd invest $8,500 per year, and our investments would still grow to about $1.7 million over that 35-year time period. Now, honestly, neither of those numbers scare me or my wife, and so we're pretty comfortable doing this because in the worst case scenario that we've laid out for ourselves, we're still going to be able to be relatively comfortable in retirement. But we want to be able to give generously and to be able to provide long-term for our families. So let's take a look at what a better case scenario might potentially look like. We struggle for about 2 years, we get by, and then at those 2 years, I'm making around $80,000 myself. So our gross income is around $115,000, and we account for increased taxes, maybe a kid that we want to have, as well as a little bit of lifestyle inflation. We'll still be able to invest around $30,000 a year. And if we extrapolate that number over the next 33 years, because we've missed investing for 2 years, including what we already have invested, it should be worth around $5.5 million, which gives us a lot more opportunity to give generously and provide for our family over the long run. And honestly, any of those numbers sound amazing, and I would be blessed with the opportunity to steward that kind of money. But to be honest, that's not the most important reason why we're not investing anything this next year. It's not because it's going to make us more money in the long run. It's actually because of the happiness factor. Since I left my job in early November, I've had so much less stress in my life. And obviously, there's going to be different struggles with anything that you do. There's going to be pros and cons to working for yourself. There's going to be pros and cons to working for the man. But I chose this hard of working for myself over the hard of working for somebody else because it's what I enjoy most. And that might not be what's best for you. I personally love the fact that I can start work at 11 a.m. if I want to. I can finish work at 1 a.m. if I want to. But you might prefer the consistency of working a 9-to-5 job, and that's perfectly okay. Find what makes you the happiest and feels the most secure, and then figure out the long-term financials of that. Make sure that when you're able to retire, if you want to retire, you'll be able to retire with how much you'll need in order to live, and then live your life. You don't always have to be thinking about the money. I will never tell you to do exactly what I'm doing because you're not living my life. I want to show you what I'm thinking through and what's working for me so that you can do the same for yourself and have the smartest financial life for you. If you made it this far in the video, I really hope that you're smarter because of it. And if you want to think through another unconventional money decision that I recently made with my wife, go ahead and check out this video right over here. Because we actually decided to finance the new iPhones on the Apple credit card, and that's actually a good financial decision. See you there to find out why.